8 signs she's secretly obsessed with you, but won't admit it. Have you ever had the feeling that a woman likes you, but every time you look for proof, she acts as if nothing is going on? One moment she's paying close attention to you, the next moment she's acting completely normal. It can be confusing, especially because genuine attraction is not always loud or obvious. In fact, when a woman develops strong feelings, she often tries to hide them instead of revealing them. Why? Because showing deep interest can make anyone feel vulnerable. No one enjoys the possibility of rejection. Instead of openly admitting how she feels, she may express those emotions through small habits, subtle behaviors, and tiny actions that are easy to overlook. The interesting part is that these signs usually appear long before she ever says, "I like you." That's why understanding behavior is often more useful than listening only to words. People can control what they say, but it's much harder to control the small signs that reveal what's happening beneath the surface. In this video, we'll explore 8 subtle signs that may suggest she's thinking about you far more than she's willing to admit. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Now, let's dive into the 8 signs that she may be secretly obsessed with you, even if she never admits it. Sign number 1, when she over-explains her availability. When a woman is secretly obsessed with you, she often gives away clues without realizing it. One of the biggest signs is that she starts explaining her availability, even when you never asked. She might casually say, "I wasn't doing anything anyway," after agreeing to see you. Or she'll slip in a comment like, "I'm usually free most evenings," even though the conversation wasn't about her schedule at all. At first, these comments may seem random, but they're usually not. Most women don't feel the need to explain how busy or free they are unless they hope someone will notice. By mentioning her availability, she's quietly letting you know there's room for you in her life. She isn't directly asking you to make plans because that would feel too vulnerable. Instead, she's dropping subtle hints and hoping you'll pick up on them. It's her way of saying, "I'm available if you want to spend time with me," without actually saying those words. People who aren't interested rarely volunteer this kind of information. They simply live their lives without explaining their schedule. But when a woman keeps finding ways to mention when she's free, she's making it easier for you to ask her out. She's leaving the door wide open, hoping you'll be confident enough to walk through it. Sign number 2. She's competitive about your attention. A woman who is obsessed with you will be strangely competitive your attention. The moment another woman enters the conversation, something about her changes. Maybe it's only for a second. Her smile fades slightly. She asks an unexpected question. She makes a playful joke that carries just a little more edge than usual. Sometimes she'll casually ask who that woman is or why you mentioned her. Other times, she'll suddenly become more engaged, almost as if she's quietly reminding you that she's still there. One thing you should know is that she'll rarely admit she's jealous because doing so would reveal feelings she's trying to hide. Instead, those emotions often appear in subtle ways. She might tease you about another girl, change the subject, or become unusually curious about someone she previously didn't care about. This attitude of her isn't about controlling your life or demanding your attention. It's about the fear of losing a place she secretly values. When women become emotionally invested, they naturally notice where your attention goes. If a woman seems oddly competitive whenever another woman enters the picture, that is a clear sign she is attracted to you more than she's willing to say. Sign number 3. She tests how you feel about her. When a woman is secretly obsessed with you, she becomes curious about how you see her. But instead of asking the obvious question, she hides it behind casual conversation. She won't look you in the eye and ask, "Do you like me?" That feels far too risky. Instead, she'll ask questions that quietly lead toward the same answer. She might say, "What's your first impression of me?" Or, "Be honest, what do you actually think about me?" Sometimes she'll ask, "Would you tell me if I did something that annoyed you?" On the surface, these sound like harmless questions, but underneath, she's trying to measure how much she matters to you. The reason is simple. When someone develops strong feelings, they naturally want reassurance. They want to know whether they're making a good impression and whether the person they care about sees them in a positive light. Rather than exposing her emotions, she collects small pieces of information. She listens closely to your answers, notices your tone, and even pays attention to what you don't say. Every response helps her understand where she stands. She's not just making conversation. She's quietly searching for signs that you value her, admire her, or feel a deeper connection. It's a subtle way of exploring your feelings while protecting her own heart from rejection. Sign number 4. She remembers the things you didn't think mattered. When a woman is obsessed with you, she remembers the little things most people forget. Not the obvious details like your birthday or your favorite movie. Those are easy to remember. It's the tiny, seemingly unimportant facts that stay in her mind. She remembers the name of the coworker you complained about weeks ago. She recalls that you always order your coffee a certain way. She remembers that you don't like cilantro, or that you once mentioned wanting to visit a particular city someday. Then, out of nowhere, she'll bring those details up in a completely natural conversation. To you, it may feel surprising because you barely remembered saying them yourself. But to her, those moments mattered because they were connected to you. This happens because people naturally pay closer attention to someone who occupies their thoughts. The more emotionally invested she becomes, the more her mind stores the small details that make you unique. She isn't forcing herself to remember them. It happens almost automatically. When she recalls stories, preferences, and passing comments you made weeks or even months ago, she's showing that she listens with genuine interest. Her attention goes beyond polite conversation. Most people forget the little things over time. But when a woman consistently remembers details you thought were insignificant, it often means you've been on her mind far more than she's willing to admit. Sign number 5. She finds reasons to be around you. This point is one of the subtle signs that may show a woman is interested in you. Let me tell you something most men completely overlook. Women naturally move toward what makes them feel good. Think about your favorite coffee shop. You probably don't go there every day because the building is special. You go because of how you feel when you're there. The same idea applies to women. When a woman enjoys your company, she may begin creating small opportunities to be near you. These moments often look ordinary on the surface. Maybe she chooses the seat next to yours, even though there are other places available. Maybe she joins conversations you're already having. Maybe she walks the same way after work or class when she could have taken another route. Sometimes these moments rarely feel planned. They happen because the brain naturally repeats experiences that create positive emotions. Please note this. One time means very little, but when it keeps happening over days or weeks, it becomes a pattern worth noticing. When you notice this sign, give her the freedom to come closer. Never forces closeness. Imagine holding a bird. If you squeeze too tightly, it struggles to escape. If you keep your hand open, it chooses to stay or fly. Relationships work much the same way. Sign number 6. She looks at you more than usual. One of the biggest clues that a woman is obsessed with you and wants to be with you is the fact that she looks at you more often, even when there's no reason to. Let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever caught yourself looking at something without even thinking about it? Maybe a beautiful sunset, a favorite sports car, or someone you genuinely enjoy being around. You weren't trying to stare. Your attention simply drifted there. Human attention works like a flashlight. It naturally points toward whatever the brain finds important. The interesting thing is that attraction often follows this same pattern. A woman who is interested in you may glance your way more often than necessary. Sometimes she looks while you're talking. Other times, she looks when you're laughing with someone else. And sometimes, she looks when she thinks you won't notice at all. Then something funny happens. The moment your eyes meet, she quickly looks away. Or she smiles. Or she suddenly finds something very interesting on the floor. Please note this. One glance means almost nothing. People look at each other all the time. The psychology becomes more meaningful when the same pattern happens again and again. What you don't know is that the eyes often react before the mind has fully organized its thoughts. That is why someone can unintentionally reveal interest before they are ready to admit it. Sign number 7. She finds ways to talk to you often. Take a look at the difference between these two conversations. In the first one, every answer is short. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. The conversation feels like pushing a heavy cart uphill. Now imagine another conversation. Every answer becomes another question. She asks about your hobbies, then your family, then your goals. One topic naturally leads to the next. Suddenly, 30 minutes feels like 5. Why? Because curiosity is one of the clearest signs of genuine interest. Once you notice her repeated genuine interest in you, you'll know she likes you. She wants to know what inspired you. You tell a funny childhood story. She laughs, then asks what happened next. The interesting thing is that these follow-up questions show she isn't just listening. She's trying to understand you. What you don't know is that everyone wants to feel seen. Not admired, not worshipped, but seen. There is a difference. Many men spend so much energy trying to impress a woman that they forget to become interesting by being genuinely interested in others. Women rarely remember every word you said. They remember how they felt while talking to you. And when a woman keeps finding reasons to continue a conversation, even when there is no need to, she is often telling you something words alone never could. Sign number 8. Her friends already know. One of the biggest clues that she's obsessed with you may not come from her at all. It comes from her friends. When you're around them, pay attention to how they act. Maybe they exchange quick smiles when you walk in. Maybe the conversation suddenly goes quiet for a second before everyone starts acting normal again. Some of them might tease her when you aren't looking, while others seem unusually interested in whether the two of you are spending time together. These reactions rarely happen by accident. Close friends usually know who occupies someone's thoughts because they're the first people she talks to about the exciting moments in her life. If she's constantly mentioning your name, sharing your conversations, or wondering what your actions mean, her friends will naturally become curious about you long before you realize what's happening. She may never openly confess her feelings to you, but it's much easier for her to talk about them with people she trusts. That's why her emotions often become obvious to everyone around her before they become obvious to you. Of course, this isn't proof by itself. Friends can misread situations too, but when her closest friends already seem to know who you are, act like they're in on a secret, or subtly encourage the two of you to interact, it's often a sign that you've been a regular topic of conversation. Sometimes, her feelings reach her friends long before they ever reach your ears. So now we've covered all 8 signs. Real attraction is revealed through consistent patterns, not isolated moments. If you've noticed several of these signs over time, there's a good chance she's more emotionally invested than she's willing to admit. The smartest move isn't to chase harder or play games. It's to stay confident, communicate honestly, and let the connection develop naturally. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about female psychology, attraction, and confidence, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our videos. Also, let us know in the comments, which of these signs have you experienced? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.